Dyslexia has only really been researched for the last 150 years. And if that makes you think, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, there must not have been dyslexia. See, things are getting worse. I want to tell you why that's probably not the case. If we go back 500 years, only a very, very, very small percent of the population actually knew how to read. If we go back 1,000 years, the percent of the population who could read was even smaller. And so the likelihood of people figuring out, there's something different about 15-20% of the population's brains that makes learning to read more difficult for them than it is for the rest of us, like the likelihood of figuring that out was very slim. In fact, arguably, it was actually impossible, because if you went to somebody and you're like, I struggle with learning to read, it would be like, yes, so do we all. Like, we all struggle with that. Only a small percentage of people actually figure that one out, who have the means and are in the place, like only a very small privileged few have access to being able to devote enough time to do that. And so it's likely that all throughout history there have been dyslexic individuals, they just wouldn't have called it dyslexia. It would have probably been related to something else. Like when we look at history and we look at some of the contributions made by people who are dyslexic at a time where dyslexia was not even an invented term, like we know it's always been there. It's just that we've only had this label for it. We've only started to study it over the last 150 years, and really only over the last 130, because for the first 20 years, they didn't really study developmental dyslexia. They studied acquired dyslexia, which is the dyslexia that you get after you have a traumatic brain injury. So yeah, it's probably always been a thing. It's just you couldn't really tell that people struggled with learning to read when nobody was really learning to read.